But fuck it. I need to shave before my show tonight, though. I got a show tonight. I got a show. I gotta get on stage tonight. I'm glad I did go live because I wouldn't have been looking at my beard if I didn't. Yeah, I gotta line this shit up before I get on stage tonight. Yeah. So we ain't gonna be here long though, cause I got shit to do. Not gonna be here long. But there's a few corny things I want. It's some corny shit going on right now in sports. I want to talk about. What's up, Mogul Maze, High Top, Rob, Paul, J. Allen. What was that? Laura Ponzi, Taj Dollars. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. What's up, Reggie? Shit, if I was thinking, Reggie, I'd have hit you up. Smoke a little bit earlier, but yeah. What's up, Josh Hawkins? Are you be in October for the comedy show? Yeah. What's up, DMS? Yeah, the comedy show at the museum is gonna be funny as hell. Yeah, these two niggas is beefing. They beefing like a motherfucker. Look at Rocky right here. Rocky's guarding me. This is my guard dog right here. He making sure that nobody creep up on me. Rocky making sure that nobody creep up on me. Rocky over there making sure that nobody creep up on me. Yeah. What's up, C Diggs? Yeah. A little nigga right there. Yeah. But let's get into it. I didn't get all the way, like, I'm not into the back and forth right now between Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe. But I do know I was more into a lot of this stuff started back around the time that I stopped watching football, honestly, with the whole Colin Kaepernick situation. As you guys remember, Shannon Sharpe made major waves when he got on to Fox Sports 1 with Skip Bayless with his stance on Kaepernick. Remember Shannon Sharpe's first year at FS1, he was sounding like Malcolm, Martin Luther, Medgar Evers, King X. The nigga was sounding like Huey. He was sounding like Huey Stokely P. Carmichael Newton when he first started. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? This nigga, yeah, sound like Huey Seal, right, Taj? Well, during that time, at the same time, Ray Lewis will come on and talk about, but you can't do that, man. You can't protest. You gotta be with your team. And Ray Lewis was Samboing it up. Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe used to be very close. Shannon Sharpe was one of the main ones that stood with Ray Lewis in that Super Bowl down in Atlanta when that murder situation happened. Ray Lewis was near. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But people have put Ray Lewis in that whole murder investigation. That's what people done. I'm not saying he did it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But what up, Brian? I'm chilling, man. You good? Yes, sir. But that's what basically the backstory. Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis used to be very close because Shannon Sharpe was one of the main ones that stood by Ray Lewis, and everyone else was backing away for whatever happened at that club. Well, anyway, since the whole Kaepernick situation, Ray and Shannon have fallen out. You know, Shannon said some shit. I remember when it happened. Shannon basically clowned Ray Lewis, and they haven't been cool ever since. Whatever. Now they going back and forth, and to tell you the honest to God truth, I ain't spend time going over the details of they back and forth. I'm here to talk to y'all guys. Y'all know this channel right here. This isn't a me breaking down what went wrong between the two. If you want to break down everything back and forth between the two, you can watch Carcino's page. He did a good job on the history of their beef. He brought back a lot of memories that I forgot about. Like, oh shit, Carcino's a really good channel for shit like that. You can watch. There's different channels that have been covering the back and forth between the two. Go watch them to cover the back and forth. I'm not here to cover the back and forth. I'm here to say this is a coon fight, and ha 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 ha. There is no loyalty when it comes to those niggas that are like that. No, I'm not talking about the Rajah Jackson situation. I'm not covering that. We all know what world we live in. And his dad was talking all that shit. Rampage Jackson was talking all kind of shit about Devin Haney and supporting Ryan Garcia's old racist ass. Rampage Jackson has supported way too many racist ass whites and Latinos for me to talk about his situation right now that he's being faced with being racial. They're gonna have to deal with that shit. When you coon, you gotta deal with that. But back to Shannon and Ray. I'm bringing this up because y'all know me. I'm a card reader. What did I read this past December going into January? I said people who have traditionally been on the same side of the fence are going to be going at each other. And it's just yet again one more example of what we've been talking about all year. The theme of the year. The same team fighting. And Team Sambo's going at it. I saw some shit with Officer Tatum has been going at the little Mexican white supremacist Nick Fuentes, because Nick Fuentes has been going at all of these black conservatives. The white boys are getting tired of these black conservatives. So now these black conservatives are all starting to try to sound like us. And all of that's born out of self-hate. Andrew Stewart, Quentin Rampage Jackson, yes, he's getting a lot of death threats. He's getting a lot of racism thrown his way. He's a great fighter. He's going to have to deal with that. All right? Rampage is somebody who stood on the side of the racists when they were going at Devin Haney. He's somebody that stood on the side of the racists when they're going at other black people. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. He wants to side with racists when a black person's going up with something. Quentin Rampage Jackson and his son can handle it. That's their problem. It's not ours. I don't stand with black people who don't stand with black people. That's just where I am with it. When shit goes on randomly, when another black man is taking heat, and you help these white supremacists pile on, all right. And that's why we're talking about Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis today. These are niggas that, Shannon Sharpe, going at Ray Lewis, with that white boy Skip Bayless standing next to him. I don't like that. Like I don't. That's why I had to pull back. Like I pulled back from watching those sports debate shows in 2012. I completely stopped watching by 2016. I was completely done. Like before that, I was just check in. Like when Shannon first went to FS1, I would check in every now and again because it was interesting. See Diggs over there blocking shots like Alonzo Mourning. See Diggs is blocking motherfuckers like, whoop, thought you had a layup. Nigga said bimbo slice. But this to me shows you see what's going on. There's no honor in that circle of coons. Anybody who hates themselves enough to speak out against other people of their own culture, you cannot trust these people. That's right there, every radio. Get your blunt and your cup filled and watch this shit. Respect. That's what you're supposed to do right now. Get your cup and watch these people and have a good time watching them crash, burn, and crumble. Why not? You dig? So Shannon, yes, Shannon's a Sambo, and Shannon, well, Shannon on his After Dark show, whatever show he does with Chad Johnson. He was complaining about Ray Lewis piling on, but this is the same Shannon that piled on Kyrie Irving for both the jab and that video he retweeted. This is the same Shannon Sharpe. Whenever a black person, Ja Morant, whenever a black athlete is facing some kind of persecution, this motherfucker, and Ray Lewis is the same way. They're both the same thing. When Ray Lewis was on ESPN back in the day, he was the same way. Both of these niggas are the type when another black person is facing something, they quick to come on and side with white supremacy. Man, he was wrong. You shouldn't have did that. You got to be humble. You got to love the Lord. And you can't make no mistakes. When you's a black man, it's a privilege to be in the NFL. It's a privilege. And he be like, you be sit back like, no, it's not a fucking privilege to be in the NFL. The niggas earned their spot. These are the best goddamn athletes on the planet. They didn't get there by privilege. They got there through hard work and dedication. You know? These people got there through hard work and dedication. And make sure when the video's over, make sure y'all come back and leave a comment, all right? Even if you leave early, come back later on and leave a comment on the video. You cannot trust people who do not like themselves. You cannot invest in people emotionally that don't like themselves, that don't see themselves in the next black man and what he's going through. When they start the other, it's one thing to criticize because criticism is good. When people are like, you know what I mean? I'm quick to criticize gang culture in black America. I'm quick to criticize coon culture. Yeah, negative. I've seen some of the fallout on Back on Fig. I've not closely. I still don't know what happened. But yeah, I've seen some of the. I've seen the old boy ain't been there, but I don't really know what happened. But Hopefully those brothers can work it out. But even with that, I'm glad you brought that up though. Even with that, we as a culture, we got to get on code with ourselves. On that show the dude mentioned back on Vic, I remember a few months ago, they was siding with the Mexicans when we was talking about what's going on here in America, and they saw the Mexicans and the blacks get along. No, we don't. Not as a group. Individually, yeah. I ain't got no issues with no Mexicans. I don't have not one Mexican that I dislike. All the Mexicans have been. Well, I got one was former coworker that I had. She wasn't shit. But outside of that, one former coworker, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I ain't got no issues with no Mexicans like that. Nah. But as a group, there's an obvious issue. You go to get hired somewhere, if the supervisor's Mexicans, you're probably not going to get that job. And black people who sit around and act like this reality doesn't exist are dangerous if you have a mic. That's a dangerous talk. It's like Shannon Sharpe is dangerous. What up, Rocky? Rocky done woke up. You good, Rocky? Rocky like, yeah. You chilling, Rocky? Say what's up to the people. You what's up to the people? You don't give a fuck about the people, do you, Rocky? That's my little nigga right there. But when you speak against your people, when you are someone who's willing to do or say whatever you need to do or say for $1, you're somebody that cannot be trusted. You can't be trusted. And these are the type of people that will backstab you. Hell yeah, my dog is high. Me and Rocky smoke together all day. This is like what? My fourth or fifth blunt today. Rocky been smoking with me through all of these. I took today off from working. Like, you know what? I be working my ass off. I haven't read any emails. I haven't taken. Well, I had to resolve a dispute between two of my tenants over at one of my buildings. So even a day off for me ain't a day off. You know, I wasn't planning on going live. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit on my porch and smoke blunts all day. That's what today was. But like a nigga that grinds, I always end up working. Anyway, what's up, Alexandria Lights? Oh yeah, Reggie been smoking all goddamn day. Because I got a show tonight. I kind of came live with y'all tonight, so I'm kind of, because I already don't do like comedy wise. I haven't been on stage in about a month. I gotta snap into it. Gotta snap into it. Getting on stage doing stand up is a different muscle. Yeah, but yes, Biz Marti the tenant did end up calling the cops last night. What up, AW1? Well, for those of you who was live with me last night, yes, the tenants ended up calling the cops. I heard they ended up even calling family members to come over, and it was about to be a big old sibling rivalry dust up. Thank God the police came and de-escalated the situation over there. I'm not gonna go check, but I didn't check today. I've been chilling. Yeah, they was over here. Appreciate that AW1. They was over here like disturbing my life last night. Those of you who's live, y'all saw my phone going blank because they just kept calling me back to back to back to back to back. Like, look, man, it ain't nothing I could do that 911 can't do. Their situation is good. Now I gotta type up some letters. Well, I'm gonna have Chat GPT type up some reminders of noise ordinances and parking space rules, email them to them, and oh God, I don't feel like doing none of this shit. But I need to keep a track record just in case I need to evict somebody. Remember, there's people who run every eviction. I've only done 3 evictions in 15 years. And I've gotten them all very easy because I keep good records. On this date, you did boomty bam, boomty bam. On that date, you did woompty wamp, boomty bam. And on this date, you did boop bop bidip bop bop biddy beep. So when I go to court, hey, judge is like, you right. You're out of here. But anyway, so back to what we we're talking about, this Shannon Sharpe. When you're dealing with people who, and let me tell you why before we get to the next subject. Let me tell you why you got to watch out for people who go hard against their own. Because for you not to see the humanity in your own means in a lot of ways you don't see the humanity within yourself. And when you don't see that level of humanity, life is a constant projection. And people who don't value home, and I'm not saying all the time, but you see these people who are willing to take $1 to spread misinformation and consciously spin false narratives. There's nothing stopping them from fucking you over. I mean, there's nothing. There's no moral. If they'll put themselves out like that in front of millions of people every day, there's nothing stopping them from doing that to you behind closed doors. It's just not. So Shannon, you're like that. No one's listening to you complain, partner, about somebody else doing what we've all seen you do over the last however many years you've been on these sports debate shows. You can't cry about being done wrong when you've done so many brothers wrong. You took money to go after Kyrie Irving just because he didn't want to take a damn needle in his arm. That's scumbaggery. That's some scumbag behavior. Colin Kaepernick felt he needed to take a stance. And Ray Lewis, instead of saying, hey, I respect that man for making the man's decision, I may not agree with that. You don't have to agree with what Colin Kaepernick did. No one has to agree. But for Ray Lewis to take that as his moment to spread his words across the world and to down and diss that man for that year or so he did that. There ain't nobody that's going to respect you. So have a good time watching these motherfuckers go at it. He said, have I ever evicted an African for being musty? No, I have not evicted any Africans for being musty. Have I ever even rented to an African? I ran into a brother from the Caribbean before. I don't think I've ever rented an apartment to an African. Hell, I don't think I've had any Africans apply. I don't even remember seeing applications from somebody named Ula 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 Ula. Where the fuck their names be? And I said I wouldn't rent to one. I don't think I've had any applications. I run into white people. I have rented a couple white tenants, and this is before gentrification. Now that we dealing with gentrification, I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. But I had a white tenant in my building 10 years before gentrification. I done rent to Mexicans. I ain't rented no Indians, no sings yet. I ain't rented any sings yet. I'm not against renting to any of them though. So George Richard, I'm not against renting to anybody. Your credit good. I got a Belizean in one of my houses. I think they Belizean. Yeah, they Belizean. I went by one day to go. It was an issue that they was having in their unit, and they had all kind of rice and all kind of Belizean fruits and vegetables. I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never seen that. That's what's up. Yeah, good people stay. I don't discriminate. Evicted. 2 of the 3 people I evicted were already living in the building when I got them. I've only ever had to evict one person that I've had 4 evictions. 3 of them already lived here. It was that guy. No. 3. 2 lived here, lived there already, and there was only one that I had to that I rented out to them that I had to evict. Because whenever people move into my buildings, I judge temperament. Every building has its own energy, and you know your tenants, and you can't put children on the 2nd floor. All right, you got kids. I ain't got no issues you having kids, but if you have 3 and 4 year olds, small children, older children, no doubt, but small children, 2nd floor, no bueno. Not unless the people below have small children. Now, the people below have small children, they're around the same age, and you can get away with it. But if you have an older tenant on the lower level and smaller children on the upper level, not good. But back to what we're talking about. So the next topic is LeBron James corny ass. You say, "What I rent to Larry?" Hell no, I wouldn't let rent to Larry. I do got a no hoe ass nigga policy. I do have a no hoe ass nigga policy, so Larry wouldn't qualify. I hear the bitch in his voice when he called. "Do you have anything to rent?" This nigga sound like a bitch. I ain't calling that nigga back. Larry, Larry in here. I know you was in here. Yeah, you saw Reggie ass when I rent to you. The answer, I'm glad you in here to hear that. No, I wouldn't rent to that hoe ass nigga at all. I didn't even know he was in here. So I'm glad you were here to hear the truth, bitch ass nigga. This nigga Larry call in. That's how you scream people when they call. I hear Larry's old weak ass voice and be like, yeah, nah, this nigga sound weak as hell. I ain't want to call this nigga back. The apartment's rented out. Yeah. So I got to shave before the show tonight. I'm gonna miss 5150 live. I'm gonna watch 5150 in the morning. Larry gonna be on the museum show. For those of you who gonna be at the Hidden History Museum is coming up. October 4th. Get your tickets, hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Larry gonna be on that show, and y'all gonna see why in real life he don't want that fade. Y'all gonna see why he ducking that fade. Because that nigga's gayer than the son of Dwayne Wade. That's why they're ducking that fade. Nigga gayer than the son of Dwayne Wade. Call that nigga Liar Goodwill, said Larry Goodwill. They call Liar Wade, Liar Goodwill, Leslie Goodwill. Nigga weak. Larry, you weaker than LeBron James' new commercial. Did y'all, hey, press number 1 if y'all saw LeBron's new commercial talking about some weak ass shit. Press number 1 if y'all saw LeBron James' new ad. What up, Wink? Press number 1 if y'all saw that new commercial. It is the one where he puts the crown on. And he says, all idols defeated, all rivals defeated, all idols conquered. Nigga called himself the king. This is the most cringe commercial you'll ever see. Look it up right now. Nike LeBron crown commercial. It's a Nike ad. Go look it up. Alex said, nah. You said crown on that weird hairline. Tanya, it's not that people hate LeBron James. It's just that people don't like, put this. Let me Tanya, let me put it in this context. People don't like being lied to. Not that people hate LeBron James. We just don't like being constantly lied to, especially if you actually watch back. There are those of us who like really, really watch the game closely, and then there are casual fans. And those of us who watch the game closely will be like, hold on, nigga, you ain't got back on defense 4 plays in a row. And then the nigga come back and get a highlight block, and then the news, right before they go to commercial, they'll be replaying the highlight block over and over and over and over and over again. Be like, oh, he's such a great defender. The nigga just gave up 8 points on backdoor layups in the last 2 minutes. What the fuck is you talking about? GTB, that's exactly. LeBron's the Drake of he's the Drake of the NBA. You see how he was a contrived fraud. And like John Stockton said, he didn't climb the mountain to the top. He took a helicopter there. And those of us who saw him get in that helicopter and get to the top, we don't respect it. Everyone else just sees him at the top and be like, he's the king. Nah, nigga, the rest of them niggas haven't climbed the mountain. You took a helicopter. And then we saw when LeBron came to the Lakers, they won 1 extra game. Whoop-de-doo. He didn't change the Lakers. That's the biggest lie. Like, you see the lies. Like, he could make anybody win. He came to the Lakers and didn't change a thing. The Lakers started winning when Anthony Davis came to the Lakers. When AD came, that's when they started winning. They started winning when AD came, not when LeBron came. Then you traded away the rest of you let Caruso walk, and you trade Kuzma, a good chemistry guy, for Russell Westbrook, and didn't even make the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, Jokic be slapping his ass around. He only beat Jokic that year Dwight Howard was there. Dwight Howard locked Jokic down, and they basically blackballed Dwight Howard from the NBA after he locked Jokic down. And Jokic has been, Steph Curry been slapping him around. What makes the commercial so cringe is this. They cut out so many years of LeBron's career. We were there. We saw what happened. Even when you talk about them getting past Detroit, yeah, LeBron James had a great game 5, but it was Boobie Gibson that won game 6 that beat Detroit. It was actually Boobie Gibson. And people, these Bron sexuals talk about Boobie Gibson like he was just Keisha Cole's boyfriend. Like, no, he's the reason why the Cavaliers won game 6 versus the Detroit Pistons. LeBron James was crumbling that game. We remember that. We remember the reason why you got swept against the Spurs. And I don't want to hear that he took a bad team to the finals. The Eastern Conference, outside of the Pistons, it was nothing but bad teams going to the finals in the East. The Sixers were a horrible team that got to the finals in 2001. The 2002 and 2003 New Jersey Nets were fucking horrible. Jason Kidd took a rookie and a first year and a second year player to the finals twice. That team was bad. That New Jersey Nets had no business getting past the second round. Richard Jefferson was a rookie. Kenyon Martin was in his second year. No business. Allen Iverson, what he did with the Sixers, that was just the East wasn't shit. From 2000, from 99 till basically the rise of the Celtics, the East has been a bad conference. Bad owners, bad teams. You can just look at the All-NBA teams. Just go back and look at those seasons, 2008, 2006, 2005. Out of the 15 players on the All-NBA teams, usually at least 10 of them played in the Western Conference. 12 of them. Basically, the only All-NBA players in the Eastern Conference would be LeBron James' teammates. So, LeBron did what a lot of people did in the East back then. The East, bad teams made the finals in the East. That's just what it was. He was one of many. But then when you got to the finals, you got swept, and you got swept because you crumbled. The Spurs basically paid a goddamn box and one against LeBron. All them niggas did was every time that nigga drove to the basket, they gave up and closed the lane off and made them shoot. And they gonna average like 16 points that series. He crumbled. Like, he didn't put up a fight. That's what we don't respect. It's like, okay, you lost to the Spurs. No, great teams have lost to the Spurs. That's not an issue. You didn't fight. Like, he didn't even try against the Spurs. And then 07, choke in the playoffs. 08, against the Celtics, choke. 09, against the goddamn Orlando Magic, missing their all-star point guard Jameer Nelson. Choke. Flat out choked against the goddamn. And then people will say, okay, average. He averaged this, he averaged that. Let me tell you people something that say things about average. Go look it up right now. If you're using statistics, you don't use the average if you want to find a story. The average is the easiest number to manipulate. Out of all the numbers to use when trying to tell a story of numbers, average is the most manipulated. If you want to understand, you look up the median. The median is going to give you more of what's going on. And then you break it down. What makes it even more, the fact that LeBron averaged so much against Orlando and against the Dallas Mavericks makes it even worse. Because for 3 quarters, you were dominant. For 3 quarters, they couldn't stop you. LeBron against Orlando Magic, I think one game had like 39 points, damn near midway through the 3rd quarter. Like, the nigga, they couldn't do shit with LeBron. But then when that 4th quarter came, the nigga literally didn't shoot. Basketball is strategy. You can't get there one way and then when a game gets on the line, not be able to do what you did to get there. All he had to do was do what he did in the first 3 quarters. Had he done that in the fourth quarter, they would have beat Orlando in 5 games. The fact that LeBron put up so many points in the first 3 quarters showed you they couldn't do nothing to stop him. Orlando could not stop LeBron motherfucking James. Not Hedo Turkoglu, not Rashard Lewis, not Mikael Petrius, not Dwight. What Marcia and Gortat coming off the bench? Rayford Austin coming off the bench. Well, he started because Jameer Nelson missed it. See, notice something. These people who say want to talk shit to me, they can't name to you the bench players on a team that played 16 years ago like I can. Yeah, Marcin Gortat was a backup center that year. Like, they had, what's that light-skinned nigga that missed that layup again in game 2? Corny Lee. Yeah, Mikael Petrius was one of the best defenders in basketball back then. He's one of the best perimeter defenders that was in the NBA. Could none of them do nothing with LeBron James. But when the fourth quarter came, he stopped driving, he started passing, and he looked nervous. All you had to do was look at his eyes. Go back and watch them games against the Orlando Magic in 2009. Just look at the nigga's eyes when he caught the ball. He was... That's what we don't respect. The same thing happened the following year when they played against Boston again. He was doing what he was going to work against Boston. Choke. Going to work against the Dallas Mavericks. Fourth quarter came, choke. 2006 Olympics, choke. World Championships. 2004 Olympics, choke. Right, Rashawn Green. Deer in the motherfucking headlights. We saw all that. Yeah, he did J.R. Smith dirty. They always blame J.R. Smith for not calling the timeout instead of crediting J.R. Smith for getting the fucking rebound. First off, J.R. Smith did a great job to even get the rebound. Second, there are 6 people who can call a timeout. All 5 players on the court and the coach. LeBron could have called timeout. And they put that in, to this day, J.R. Smith still got to live with that. He didn't call timeout. Well, LeBron could have called timeout. LeBron was actually next to the ref. He choked. He didn't call timeout. J.R. Smith got you the goddamn rebound. It was an offensive rebound. That was amazing enough. Ty Lue could have called timeout. Anybody could have called timeout. So, we basketball fans, we saw this. And then we saw him, we all knew that Dwayne Wade was the coldest one. LeBron Weber, that's cold. But we saw Dwayne Wade travel his way to a championship in 2006 with the Miami Heat. And I do mean travel. They let that nigga walk. They let that nigga walk his way, but he still dominated the Dallas Mavericks in the fourth quarter. So we saw Dwayne Wade was a motherfucking hog. He was a dog. And one thing we know about kings don't leave their kingdom to join another team's kingdom. Hit the like button and subscribe. You don't leave your kingdom and When we saw LeBron leave his kingdom to go join two players, not just Dwayne Wade. Udonis Haslam won a championship too that year. He was on he was on that team too with Shaq that won the championship. Haslam. See, one thing superstars need that people don't understand isn't just another superstar. What's more important than stacking your team with superstars is high quality role players. That's actually more important than having a bunch of superstars. Is high quality role players. What's a high quality role player? I'll tell you. 3 and D guys. Guys that can play really good defense and they have a specialty. You need two shooters on each wing. And LeBron, for those of us who understand basketball, you see that LeBron very rarely had to face double teams. Why did he very rarely face double teams? Not only because you have Bosh and Wade, but you got Shane Battier and Mike Miller on the court. The casual fan may be like, well, who is Shane Battier and Mike Miller? They only average 6.2 points a game. Let me tell you why they're important. Because they're knockdown shooters. And when you have knockdown shooters in the corner, Rashard Lewis, Ray Allen, we can go down the line. LeBron James had Kyle Korver, Mario Chalmers. These knockdown shooters make it to where defenses cannot double team the stars. The defense cannot double team the star because if the defense goes for the double team, they have a decision to make. Do I give the star 2 or do I give this knockdown shooter 3? And so that puts defenses in a quagmire. And LeBron James always had that in his pocket. He's always had the highest of quality role players. As a matter of fact, keep it open, just swing it open. He's always had the highest of quality role players, meaning these guys hit shots. The reason why the 2016 Thunder did beat the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals is because Kevin Durant had Andre Roberson in the corner, and that motherfucker couldn't make shit. That's why. If you go back and look, that whole game, especially game 6 where they could have closed it out, they were trading 3 for 2 every time. Every time KD or Russell hit 2, the Warriors would hit 3. They was trading 3 for 2. And Roberson's inability to hit corner jump shots allowed the Golden State Warriors to hedge their defense on Kevin Durant to where every time Kevin Durant put the ball on the ground, he was facing a triple team. He has double team, and they would always move whoever was on Kendrick Perkins or whoever was on Roberson. They would always rotate to Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant generally you have to shoot with 3 defenders on him that series. But that's something you niggas that jump into the numbers don't talk about because you're too busy analyzing numbers that your dumb ass can't even interpret instead of watching a fucking game. Yeah, and Roberson struggled at the free throw line. So that's the difference between winning and losing. Can your role players hit open shots? And LeBron James always had high quality role players that hit their shots. And these were guys that were high quality role players everywhere that they went. Shane Battier was a high quality role player for Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming in Houston. He was a high quality role player for Pau Gasol and Mike Miller with the Memphis Grizzlies. Mike Miller was an all-star that transitioned to high quality role player. Rashard Lewis had just gone to the finals, high quality role player. Mo Williams. People like talking shit about Mo Williams. Mo Williams dropped 50 points with 3 different teams. 2 different teams. He dropped 50 with Cleveland and with Utah. Everywhere Mo Williams went, he was a high quality role player. Everywhere J.R. Smith went, whether it be Denver, New York, or Cleveland, extremely high quality role player. Former 6th man of the year. You go up and down LeBron James's roster, you're dealing with very high quality role players. Sean Marion, I'm not, no, Kevin Love and Kyrie were stars. I'm just talking about role players. I ain't talking about stars. Kevin Love was a bona fide star. He was a 40-20 guy. This nigga Kevin Love would have like 40-20 games regularly with Minnesota. I know, I was there. I was actually in Minnesota. I knew someone that played for the Timberwolves when Kevin Love was there, was a rookie. And I was there. I saw Kevin Love. I was there the day Darko Milicic got traded to the Timberwolves for Al Jefferson. I was actually in Minneapolis when that trade went down in Darko's first game with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I was there. I was there. I was also there Kyrie's rookie year. I was in Cleveland, and I went to some games. Kyrie's rookie year with Cleveland. Yeah, Al Jefferson was one of my favorites too. That motherfucker had footwork, and he could finish with both hands over either shoulder. Al Jefferson was a great undersized center. He just had too many injuries. He could never keep it going because he would have an injury that would take him out. But Al Jefferson was dope. He had Larry Hughes, high quality role player. Hell, Eric Snow was a high quality role player that first finals time. I remember Eric Snow went to the finals with Seattle in '96. He went to the finals with the Sixers in 2001, and he went to the finals again with Cleveland, with LeBron. Eric Snow was an extremely high quality role player. These are guys that are going to consistently bail the stars out and hit open shots and play good defense and rebound. Tristan Thompson, this motherfucker was getting every goddamn rebound. Great screen setter, great rebounder. Everyone else was like, "Huh, you said set screens." Yeah, a good screen is the difference between a miss and a made shot in the NBA. Because a coverage shot and an open shot in the NBA, the difference between a well-defended shot and an open shot in the NBA is about an inch or two. It's about an inch. It's inches. Inches decide the difference between a well-defended shot and bad defense. That's how great the defense is. And so a good screen provides inches for Ray Allen, for Dwayne Wade, for Chris Bosh to get open shots. It provides inches for LeBron James to get around and get to the basket. Because once I get that strong screen from Tristan Thompson, I got Kyrie in one corner, knockdown shooter. Kevin Love in another corner, knockdown shooter. What's that nigga that looked like he was always about to cry? What's that nigga name? He played with the Spurs and the Pacers. Chat room, help me. What's that nigga that always looked like he was about to cry? George Hill. George Hill, knockdown shooter. Now, George Hill turned the ball over like a motherfucker. That nigga could not secure the ball for nothing. But he's a knockdown shooter. Kyle Korver. The people don't understand, at the time Kyle Korver was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had made the third most three-pointers in NBA history, behind Reggie Miller and Ray Allen. This is before Steph and Klay took over. Steph and James Harden have since passed Kyle Korver, but at the time Kyle Korver was playing on the Cavaliers, he had made the third most three-pointers in NBA history, behind Ray Allen and Reggie Miller. Danny Green, knockdown shooter. Danny Green won championships with the Spurs because he was a knockdown shooter. Richard Jefferson, great role player. Richard Jefferson went to the finals with the Nets. He went to the finals with the Spurs. And he went to the finals with Cleveland. Everywhere Richard Jefferson went was at, he was a high-quality role player. I mean, these are players, this is undisputable because these are guys that actually went deep with other teams. So LeBron James always got these guys that were really expert role players. Expert role players. Not Sasha Vujacic. James Jones was another one. Knockdown shooter, good defender. James Jones, that nigga did not miss. This nigga James Jones will sit on the bench for 15 straight games. Come in and knock down 4 3-pointers and sit his ass back down for the next 4 games. And with having all that, this nigga had the nerve to run a commercial about him being the king and the best ever. Oh yeah, Eddie House. The nigga got Eddie House for a couple seasons, for God's sake. God damn. Eddie House, that was a shooting motherfucker right there. People forget about how Eddie House was. Going back to college, Eddie House was a little nigga too. Eddie House was a little nigga, and this nigga come in the game and drop 17 straight points on your monkey ass and go sit right back down. This nigga come in midway through the end of the first quarter, midway through the first quarter, off the bench. This nigga come out and drop 3 straight threes, get a foul, start the second quarter, hit another 3. Nigga got 12 points and won't play the rest of the game. That's what you need when you're a superstar. You need these role players who can steal 3 minutes at a time. If you have a role player, he had a lot of these type of role players. Boobie Gibson was that way. Mo Williams was that way. Where they come in, well, Mo Williams started, but let's just stick to the role player. J.R. Smith was that way. They'll come in off the bench and they'll just score like 9 points in a row while the other team stars on the bench getting some rest. While you're on the bench getting some rest as a star, you got a role player that can come in and take over for 3 minutes at a time. That's all you need as a star. That's what makes superstars different. They can carry most of the game. Delonte West was another one. Everywhere Delonte West went, whether it be Cleveland, Dallas, anywhere Delonte West went, this nigga will come off the bench and drop 17 points on your monkey ass in like 7 minutes of playing time. On a bad night, these niggas will drop 7. Like, yeah, Eddie House was a cold motherfucker. These were some great fucking role players this dude had. When Chris Bosh gets that rebound and outlets it to the corner, it makes a big difference when Ray Allen is the one getting that outlet pass to win the game against the San Antonio Spurs. If it's anybody but Ray Allen, that shot probably doesn't go in. But that's Ray fucking Allen. No, he can't carry a team like he did 10 years ago, but he can still hit a motherfucking shot. Wide open like that. If that's Shannon Brown, if that's, what's that dude name? If that's Andre Roberson? Remember, KD had Andre Roberson. Do you think Andre Roberson hits that shot? Let's tell the truth. You think Andre Roberson hit that shot that got kicked to Ray Allen? That's the difference between winning and losing in the NBA. You had Ray Allen when Kevin Durant had Andre Roberson. There's the series, folks. But you got to have a real strong eye for the game to notice this kind of stuff. So, to the people that be like, oh, y'all just hating on LeBron. Like, no, we just watch the game very close. And I've been watching the game close long before that. LeBron James isn't what made me start watching the game close. I've always watched the game close. He came into a game I was watching long before he started. Some of you niggas in your 30s and your 20s, and so you've only seen an NBA with LeBron James. Well, I started watching the game closely as a young boy. That's how me and my dad got close when I was a kid. My dad was a quiet man that hung out with his homeboys a lot when I was young. So how me and my dad connected was the Laker games. Yeah, Magic and Kareem, Chick Hearn on the Lakers simulcast, sponsored by the Ritz-Carlton. You know what I'm talking about. In Laguna Niguel. So going back to 1986, 87, when I was 5 and 6 years old, Magic just captivated me. I grew up with Magic and Chick Hearn making the call. Chick Hearn's the greatest goddamn announcer of all time. And if you grew up listening to Chick Hearn, you didn't get into stats. As a matter of fact, Chick Hearn would always break down why stats don't matter. Chick Hearn, rebound goes to Worthy. Worthy kicks to Matt Johnson. Magic Johnson on the dribble drive, kicks to AC Green. AC kicks in the corner, Scott. Whoa, three-pointer, Byron Scott down the corner. Magic gets the ball. Magic passes to Green. Green to Worthy. Worthy to Rambis. Rambis to Kareem. Swing left, shoot right. Ooh. 2 points by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Byron Scott brings him down, kicks over to Magic. Magic 17 feet, short corner, passes over to Worthy. Worthy double team, passes over to Rambis. Rambis kicks it back out to Magic. Magic swings to Worthy. Worthy's in the corner to Coop. Coop down to Kareem. Slam dunk. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Press number 1 if you remember Chick motherfucking Hearn. What's up, humanes? Press number 1 if you remember Chick Hearn. If you didn't grow up listening to Chick, you can see a difference. It's a big difference between Laker fans who grew up listening to Chick Hearn and those who came later. Chick Hearn wasn't sitting around talking about something. Only stats you saw with Chick Hearn was Sedell 3 is 9 for 10 from the free throw line. It's the only fucking stat you heard from Chick. The free throw shooting percentage while they were shooting free throws. You never saw, Michael Cooper is 4 for 10 from 3 today. You didn't see that shit. Magic would have 20 assists, you wouldn't even know it. At the end of the game, you'd be like, damn, Magic entered the game with 23 assists? Worthy to Kareem. Kareem to Magic. Magic on the dribble drive, passes over to Byron Scott. Byron Scott, 17 feet in the corner, passes over to Worthy. Worthy swings the ball back down to Cooper. Cooper passes to Rambis. Rambis back to Cooper. Cooper to Magic. Magic on the dribble drive, goes to the basket. Oh, alley-oop to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 2 points. Timeout. Golden State Warriors. You're watching Prime Ticket on the Lakers Basketball Network, sponsored by Miller Lite. Nigga, that's what we was into, nigga. Yeah, I miss Anthony Peter, but we had to get Shaq. Yeah, the game's in the refrigerator. The lights are, the eggs getting cool, the butter's getting hard, and the jello's jiggling. Anytime Chick put it in the refrigerator, the game was over. So we grew up watching real basketball. It wasn't no excuses. Like when Shaq wasn't coming into Lakers camp in shape, Lakers fans got tired of Shaq. It wasn't well, Shaq did this. No, it was like, no, nigga, you keep coming into camp out of shape. We trying to win. Lakers fans never gave excuses to the stars. When Shaq left, Lakers fan booed Kobe. Lakers was like, nah, you got rid of Shaq? If you don't win a championship, nigga, boo you too, nigga. Lakers, Kobe didn't win Lakers fans back until he scored that 62 points in 3 quarters against Dallas, and then when he dropped that 81 about 5 weeks later, that's when Lakers fans started fucking with Kobe again. Before that, after Shaq left, Lakers fans was like, nigga, I don't know about you, homie. Shaq gone and you ain't winning. Kobe had to drop 81 points for Lakers fans to give a fuck about him. And then you got these brown sexual people coming over. You should just like LeBron James because he's the king. Fuck out of here, nigga. Fuck out of here. What time is my show tonight? Hold on, I gotta see what time my show is tonight. Hold on. I might have to get off here. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm thinking it's at 8. Shit, I'm like, oh shit, I might have to run out of here. I got a little bit of time left. I got y'all still there? I got a little bit of time left. I got a little bit of time left. Let me know if y'all still there. But yeah, 5150 ain't started yet. Yeah, man, but yeah, this whole sports worship, this shit's coming to an end. I mean, I think we spend way too much time on sports media. Watching Shannon and Ray Lewis go at it is hilarious. Watching people's reaction to this corny ass LeBron James commercial has also been very, very, very funny. We're starting to see that people aren't falling for the same bullshit. People are really starting to respond to what's going on. People are starting to really respond to the bullshit. People are getting tired of the bullshit. You know? People are getting tired of the bullshit. Age of Aquarius, right? People are seeing it for what it is. This whole celebrity culture, this shit's coming to an end, y'all. This shit is coming to an end. No more celebrity worship culture. This shit is coming to an end. And all these coons, it's good to see y'all fighting each other, Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe. And it's happening on the right side too. You see the right, Alex Jones, and I was watching a Twitter fight today between Alex Jones and David Icke. Alex Jones and David Icke was going at it on Twitter today. I guess one of Alex Jones's underlings left him and David Icke was trolling him. Let's sit back and watch all this shit. Boing, alright? Everybody get the fuck up out of here. I gotta go shave for my show. You right, C. Diggs. I gotta go shave for my show tonight. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.